走り出せ走り出せ空高くハトと差し
Hi guys, it's Wasabifold here with another video for you, and today I'm going to be following up on a theory that I made a long time ago before my extended hiatus, and it was the theory that Big Mom might be running the slave trade. Now back then when I first debuted this video, there wasn't a lot of support behind this theory simply because there wasn't a lot of factual information that I could use to pull on. It was more of an idea that the whole Big Mom establishing this free nation where all species could live together could actually be a lie. And that the fact that all those nations are together, all these species are together, is a perfect opportunity for a slave trader to just pick off people as she saw fit and send them to the celestial dragons. I mean, how perfect is it that a slave trader would have all of the species that they would want under one location and not have to go out and hunt for them? It seems, to be very advantageous. And of course, the idea that Big Mom, a lot of inspiration is being pulled from the tale of the witch and Hansel and Gretel, the whole lady in the forest who had a house made of sweets, who were able to lure Hansel and Gretel to her with the intention to eat them, and that she was actually very evil. A lot of inspiration for Oda has taken, in my opinion, for Big Mom, because she has all these islands around her that are made of sweets or made of different types of food, and at the center is her house, her big giant whole cake island, which is this big palace. I could definitely see Big Mom potentially having some kind of sinister motivation for drawing these people from all over the world to her that goes beyond just this idealistic dream that she supposedly has, according to Peckham's. So that was the idea back then for the theory. But again, I admit it didn't have much backing it up then. But now there have been 3 key instances that have happened, even as late as last chapter, that have pointed to me that Big Mom could have more sinister undertones when it comes to her purpose, and I might actually have been right about the slave trade option. Now, the first one and the most major one is that Big Mom needs the means to carry out a slave trade operation, and she showed that means in the scene when the German 66 put those exploding wristbands on Sanji. Now, Oda made a point about these exploding wristbands. He made a point of indicating that they are like the technology that the Celestial Dragons use, the exploding collars, and he also made a point that German 66 borrowed them from Big Mom. And that was one big thing for me. That was one thing that stuck out. Because why would German 66 need to get exploding wristbands, technology that is not dissimilar from what the Celestial Dragons have, from a pirate? They have special access to revelry. They have the world government on their side. Clearly they have some kind of pull in the grand scheme of things in the One Piece world. So why would a technologically advanced army that has had their existence removed by the world government not be able to acquire something similar to the exploding collars that the Celestial Dragons use from the world government themselves? Why can't they just make a call and say, hey, we would like some of these restraint devices? Or why couldn't they have said, you know what, let's build something similar to it, since we know what it is and we know how good they are at keeping people in line. We are a technologically advanced race. Why don't we have something similar on our own? It seemed really odd that Oda would make Big Mom responsible for giving them to them, because there was no need to. There's perfectly logical reasons that German 66 would have something like that. And yet Oda chose to make Big Mom the source for it. And I think this is a huge clue to where Oda might be going with Big Mom and the idea of her actually being the new queen of the slave trade in One Piece world. And then there was another thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is that Big Mom herself expressed what her true dream was. Now, obviously, the idea that if she really does care about all the species, then clearly she would not send them into slavery. But the truth of the matter is that Big Mom doesn't care about all the species. She cares about being family with them. Maybe she had some fetish for, just different looking family members. But Big Mom, her care is that her family will sit at a table with her. A family representing all the species of the world together, living under one roof. All giants, so that she can just have them sitting at her eye level. That's her dream. And considering how much she discards the lives of other people who aren't a part of her family so consistently. She's threatened to destroy Fishman Island over Candy. She destroyed an island that we know of, we don't know about the name of the island, over Kate. She's willing to cut off the heads of someone you know if you don't come to her tea party. Clearly, the sanctity of life means very little to Big Mom. So I think it's very odd that she would have such a self-righteous dream and include everyone else. I think this dream is really only for her family and whoever she can make her family. I mean, she doesn't even care about her husband. She's easily, once they've given her a child, she'll discard them. So I don't think it actually, Big Mom's dream is actually in opposition to this theory at all, that she might not run a slave trade. She would, but just not for her family. And that's the difference. She would not go as far as to do anything to her family, and she'd let them express their wishes however they felt like it. But for everyone else, you're pretty much out of luck. So that's one other idea. All I needed was that Big Mom needed to express her dream herself, and clearly it might not fall in line with what Peckham's had said it was. Clearly it could be interpreted that way, but it might not actually be that way. But the next thing that Big Mom needs for this theory to really hold water is the opportunity to make someone a slave. And this is one thing that was not given until a couple chapters ago. That's why I decided to make this video. And it was the whole ritual that is said to happen in Whole Cake Island, or in Totland really, where all the citizens of Totland are asked to life or leave. This whole choice, where they have the choice to give up 1 month of their life to one Big Mom's soul operations, or leave. Now, this seems like a very, very interesting idea. First of all, I think she's taking this life and she's absorbing it herself, and somehow with the soul fruit, she can actually extend her own life, and she's probably hundreds of years old. So, but that's not what the focus of this are. My focus is on this leave option. Why on earth would she let you leave? It seems very odd that there would be an option that would allow you to leave. First of all, it seems like a huge security risk. Can you imagine the world government or the Marines, for instance, getting someone who's super strong but not known by pirates to infiltrate her headquarters, to infiltrate Totland, spend a couple years there, giving up life every time, and then learning all about her inner workings of her defenses, where her tart stations are, where the sea slugs are, how to disable them, what routes through Totland could possibly be found to get to Whole Cake Island, gathering all that information and then just leaving when they felt like it at the next ritual. That would be such an easy thing for spies to do, not just for the Marines, but also for any rival Yonkos. It seems like such an odd option to just, all right, you know what, I don't feel like giving up my life anymore, I'm just gonna leave, and she'll let you leave. There has to be something sinister to it. And I think that Big Mom, she lets you leave, but then you disappear. And that's really the reason why no one in Totland knows about the slave trade. You disappear because, you chose to leave. She can basically sell the idea that any one individual chose to leave, and that's why they're not around anymore. And everyone would just take it at what she said it is at. You have the choice to life or leave. You're supposedly living a free life. And what she does with them is that she puts them in those exploding wristbands and she ships them off to the Celestial Dragons. And this is where the mutual beneficiary nature of it has. She gets rid of these people who want to leave without having the risk of having any spies have any information about the internal workings of Whole Cake Island. This way, all of the people will go to the Celestial Dragons, they'll live their life as slaves, they'll probably get killed at some point because of how fickle the Celestial Dragons are, and she gets rid of one problem. She kills the major problem of her island, which is that if someone found out that she was running a slave trade, everyone would leave and that she would lose her empire. But the truth of the matter is no one knows, because every time someone leaves, there's no more conflict. Now, clearly, I think there's obviously people that do get away from Big Mom's Totland. I'm not saying that everyone that leaves there can't leave, or that everyone that has been there has to stay there, but I'm just saying that the possibility is that Big Mom could actually be using that advantage to get rid of people when needed. And really the advantage to her is quite simple: money. She talks about she has money problems, that Captain Kidd sunk two of their ships, that they're currently in money issues. As a cutting off a few of the excess in her Totland that is not needed, that aren't a family, to get some money from the world government, to get resources and technology and to secure the safety of her family, because let's be honest, the world government does not have full control over the new world. The Yonkos do, because it would create this kind of gray area where, you know, do pirates have to be separate from the world government, or do world government has to be separate from pirates? It would be such a cool thing for Oda to do, and I think it would be a great plot device, because it sets up so much more importance to the Fishman Island's struggle to get out from under her, and the simple fact that she could just literally send them all up as slaves, and that would be such a cool thing. Maybe even Jinbei was fearful of that, who knows? But I already made my theory. I do think that Jinbei's probably family was threatened. You can check that theory out here in the description, or there's going to be also some annotations somewhere you can click. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this theory is a lot stronger now that the weeks have passed and we've gotten some key clues that could be interpreted in this way? Do you think this is healthy speculation, way to think about Big Mom and her organization? So this is the theory. Big Mom runs the slave trade. What do you guys think? All right. Thank you for listening. This was Wasabifold. Just don't forget to share and subscribe. And goodbye.